Guys, welcome back. So this week we thought we would do a little comparison of one of the new lines we've brought into the store. For the last couple of months, we've seen Tiger certainly testing them. You know, the product line was getting a good run out of the British Open, and it's the new GAPR line by Taylormade. So this week we got the full lineup in the store. We get the low, the mid, and the high. And you know, we thought we'd help you guys sort of decipher which ones might suit certain players and what to compare it to.
That's my first question to you. Was it kind of seems like this is a hybrid. I understand that the other ones are sort of more driving iron style, but this to me kind of looks like a hybrid, so I thought, why don't we compare it to the M3 hybrid?
Absolutely.
Because if I went into a store and didn't know better, I'd think, okay, it looks like Taylormade has two hybrids now.
Which one?
What do I do?
You know, which one's more suitable for me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought when I saw the product launch, I thought there would be, you know, a little more. I certainly thought the high would be a bit bigger.
Bigger footprint.
I thought it would be a way bigger footprint. And then when it came into the store, I thought this is really nice. It's really compact.
It's very compact.
It has a really nice profile. I was actually surprised how much I liked. I thought this would be in the kind of higher handicap one, the one that's really designed to be forgiving and high launch. And, you know, as the test turns out, it really wasn't the case at all.
And I totally understand what you're saying, because in pictures, it looks big.
It does.
It looks like, not big, but it looks like a large hybrid.
And next to the low, which we have here, we actually have one of the kind of profiles of the low. I mean, it definitely is.
For sure.
You know, quite a difference, but it's still, relatively speaking, towards hybrids, it's smaller.
It is. I think they've actually managed to, I know they don't want to call this a hybrid. I know it's meant to be like a big driver. But they kind of created their own little category of hybrids with this thing. Because if you don't like the look of a hybrid, not that it's a ton smaller than this, but it's very nice and compact.
Absolutely.
You said it reminded you of the old Adams Pro line that they made.
Had a little bit of Adams DNA for me, and even going back to these guys. I mean, there was the Adams, the DHY, which to me, as soon as I saw this, looked like the exact same thing.
Right.
We actually have one of those in the store. We're reshafting right now. So, you know, I just feel like there's a lot of Adams influence in this new line. I really do.
Yeah.
And you know, as testing showed, it was an interesting result.
It wasn't quite what we expected. So we were thinking, well, you were mentioning the CG location of this is supposed to be quite far back.
Yeah, it's kind of designed to be low and back.
Right.
You know, by the profile of the kind of little scoop out there.
Which doesn't occur with this.
Yeah. So that's more of your M3 is more of your traditional shape.
Yep.
But GAPR High is definitely a bit smaller than that.
It is,
isn't it?
100%.
So let's kind of run through the numbers, and you had an interesting sort of take on the feel of them.
Yeah, this to me feels more like a driving iron.
Interesting.
It's sort of a more, I guess, dull feeling club. Not in a bad way, but it feels kind of more like an iron. And sound-wise, lower pitch.
Right. And that may speak to the speed foam that's inside that. You know, that's obviously one of the technologies that has sort of been brought over from P790.
It doesn't feel hollow, which it isn't. And this obviously does feel hollow, and it is. So that would be the best way for me to describe it.
You thought M3 felt more like a wood, and this was more like an iron?
This kind of reminded me of my M3 wood. Like it has a nice hot face feel.
Yep.
And this guy, it's kind of like an iron.
Yeah. Well, when we started hitting them, there was very comparable ball speed. So we went, okay, not too much going on here. But as the tests went on, we saw something quite interesting, which was that for being classed as the GAPR high, it really wasn't very high.
Compared to that,
it was very, very hot and kind of penetrating. So, you know, the M3 hybrid was launching at 13 degrees, Matty, and it was spinning about 3,600.
Yep.
Which is good.
Good numbers,
Those are good hybrid numbers. Then we hit the GAPR high, and it launched 1 degree less and spun about 600 less.
Yeah.
Basically, to be honest, looking at that, Matty, those are 3-wood numbers.
Yeah, it's definitely a lower flatter flight
100%. Like even looking at the blue and red trajectories there and how the peak is a little bit kind of lower and further on. With the GAPR, the peak is higher and, you know, has a little bit of a steeper angle of descent. Very, very different.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, you know, if you are looking for more of a forgiving driving iron, this is a great option.
It is definitely a lot easier to hit than driving iron. The Callaway one that I have, I find pretty forgiving.
Yeah.
But in terms of an off-center hit, twisting, I think you'll find this a lot more stable. It's got more mass, I guess, around it that kind of keeps it stable.
Yep.
I was really pleasantly surprised. Again, these are the best tests when neither of us really have hit either of them, and just kind of say, let's see what happens.
We always get surprised when we do these things. And the thing's loaded with technology. I mean, you've got speed pocket, you've got speed foam, you've got FCT, which is what Taylormade have always called flight control technology, which is the adjustable sleeve. You've got the ability to open and close it. You've got a lot of versatility with this golf club.
I think you will find a ton of guys that go looking for a driving iron that may end up with that.
Absolutely.
Because it's really nice. The flight is so similar. It really reminds me of the flight that I was getting with my driving iron.
It was great. When you first started hitting it, I was saying to you, I said, you should stick one of these in the bag. I mean, it's really, really good.
It's really good.
And it reminded me of the flight you got with when you first hit your driving iron, that kind of hot, fairly flat flight, and that's what that is.
And same numbers, same care. Like it's remarkably similar.
I tell you what, if you play in windy conditions, being able to kind of hit that flight where you can knock a bit the spin off it and kind of chase the ball. Maybe if you want to play it a bit more on the ground, what a great club.
And this is the 19 degree.
Yeah.
And we did the same with the M3. I mean, it's important to say you could go down to, they have a 2.
Not in that one.
But you can lower the loft.
You can lower the loft, absolutely. So you can take the loft sleeve down by 1.5 degrees.
Right, so you could even, if you're a really high ball hitter, this is a great option at the lowest setting.
It really is. Let's check exactly that. So, I mean, and obviously in the other ones, they come in slightly lower loft. So they come, the GAPR low comes in 17.
That's this one here, the 2.
So if you really want to play something that's very, very flat,
bullets.
That's going to hit absolute bullets.
I can see why Tiger wanted to do that, because he loves that super low shot.
Absolutely.
And for a driving iron, the other ones launch way higher than these, way higher.
Absolutely. So loft sleeve at 1.5 degrees of loft adjustment. So that 19 can play 17.5. It can play, with an open face. It can play 20.5 with a slightly closed face if you do miss it on the right hand side.
Interesting.
You can play it a little more upright should you need to.
Which is important, I think.
Which is nice, a little bit of lie angle adjustment at the same time.
Yeah. That's a great club. I think they did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, guys, hopefully this is maybe going to help some of you who are thinking about going out and trying this. And I wouldn't kind of think that this is much of a solution for somebody who's looking for a higher ball flight.
Unless you go with the highest possible loft.
And they go quite high. They go up to 28.
So exactly. So I think loft would be your friend. But
Absolutely.
Safe to say, mostly people looking for a driving iron, they're not the type of player that needs to bring their ball flight up, because they'd be better off with a 7-wood or a kind of a big hybrid option. But they've done a good job of offering. They've kind of created a little bit of a category with this one.
Absolutely. The adjustable driving iron.
Adjustable driving iron.
That's definitely what it is. But I mean, really impressed with the ball speed. The flight was great. I thought the sound was good. You made a good comment on how good the sound was and how good it felt. And it's packed with technology. It's standard Taylormade stuff. It's absolutely packed. Full of innovation, which is what they kind of seem to do as well, if not better than anyone.
You could probably add this to the, if you don't like hybrids, you don't hit them well, you hook them, whatever. The 8, what was the Titleist hybrid that we tested that you recommended?
You sure? Yeah, the 18
H1 or 2, I can't remember which one.
H2, small
so
head.
That one and this one, I think those are the top 2. If you don't like hybrids,
compact.
So much more compact and a little bit fade bias, and you can make it even more fade bias by opening it. Those are probably the top 2 that I would try if you don't like a hybrid.
Absolutely. No, I think that's good, and it comes with the KBS Tour hybrid shaft, which is
really
good.
Good shaft.
It's very good. 80 gram X is what you were playing in that there, and
felt nice.
It was really good for you. Very low torque. It's just a good all round performer. We carry that one here in the store. So
you do?
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a new addition to the lineup, guys. So
Very
good
cool.
all round. Very very impressed. I think that's definitely for if you're out there and you're trying to kind of get something that's, the hybrid was supposed to be the hybrid. This is the hybrid of the hybrid in the iron.
So true.
It's another version of a hybrid. But I think if you want a slightly flatter flight, you'll enjoy the performance of this guy.
Yeah, I think this was great.
Definitely. Excellent. Guys, leave us your questions as always. We'll be happy to kind of go a little more in depth if you've got some specific questions about how this might relate to your game. I think there's obviously the other models which we will test in time.
We will, yep.
We've got the mid here. We're still waiting on the left-handed low coming in. So that'll be really interesting. I want to test your driving iron versus the GAPR low.
It's a great idea.
I think that could be a very interesting test.
And then there's the Titleist driving iron we haven't really tested on the channel yet. And the P790 would be one to test because again, this is a different design than that.
That
Same
would
company.
be good, yeah.
P790 with this. Who knows
Versus
what the
that.
difference is with
I
that?
know.
We'll do those for sure.
For sure. Guys, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon.